Nice front kick from Berglin. But a head kick from John Chanko! Sets him down!
Get up!
He's hurt! John Chanko's not over him! Right hook, left hook, and get home! Billy cash it!
Woo! Fire me up! It's 10:30 in the morning. If you don't need coffee, you just need some John Chanko in your life.
Come on.
UFC Baku review. There's no Millie Mills. It's just me and Joey DFS. And it was a good weekend over here at Pub Sports MMA. Make sure, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe. Not a lot of MMA content this week. Only Cage Warriors this week. We got one of the Hardwick brothers in the main event. But, Joey, how you doing? How you feeling?
Man, after the weekend that we all had on that show, we kidnapped the books. We took their money. We spoke to them nicely, and we had money go into our accounts. Shit, one of the better weekends I had during the year so far. So, and part of that is to my man Con Offley, where I made that pick flip. So, if you send a student in for that for the show, you could have got paid 3 different ways like I did.
All right, we won't switch up the order here. We'll get straight into the UFC Baku review. And the first fight of the night was Tahir versus the Nascimento dude from LFA, and it was a pretty slow beginning of the fight, but once it started picking up, I mean, it was action-packed. I'm glad that you guys I was kind of feeling the Tahir like lean, but I ended up actually making money on it. Luckily, I had a 3-leg parlay that ended up getting some luck involved in the second leg that we'll talk about. But what are your thoughts here in this opening bout of the night? I don't know how many fights Tahir is going to win, but at least he won this one, right?
Yeah, man. That fight was definitely a snooze early until towards the end of round 2 and then going into round 3 when Tahir finally picked it up and finally got that round 3 finish by TKO. And Nascimento, would it shock you if we don't see him for a bit? Because that was one piss-poor performance. It was just him running around, dancing, and circling around the cage, not doing too much until Tahir finally got a hold of him. So, yeah, I hope both fighters don't plan to do that in the future. I think both fighters would probably benefit from going down to 155 pounds for both. And maybe better fights can come in their future. But that was the one fight I'm kind of mad I didn't get on. I was picking Tahir. I was like, man, thank God I was fading this fight. This shit's boring. And then finally got finished. I was like, man, that was the one regret I should have had, man. I was picking Tahir. I could have got plus money up to like plus 140 before the fight. And that's what happens when the coulda, woulda, shoulda. But there's always plenty more fights we made money on.
Yeah, I would say broad view perspective as a sportsbook gambler is I was saying this on the live stream a little bit. We won't go too deep on it in the recap, but stock down on LFA just in general, just because you're an LFA champion. I mean, we'll talk about that in another stream. But next fight, though, was Bezcat Almacan versus G Matsumoto. We saw a lot of late steam come in on G Matsumoto. That line was sitting stale, stagnant all week. Depending on what sports book you're on, minus 160, minus 155. And then we saw some late action come in on G Matsumoto, minus 175. I guess somebody knew something that I didn't, because this was the robbery of the night, man. How'd you feel about the judges' scorecards? And I kind of forget, they gave G Matsumoto round 3, not round 1, right?
Yeah, it was round 3 they gave him. But yeah, one thought I thought before the fight, I necessarily didn't have the money line at Almacan. I thought he was going to win by knockout, and damn, boy, almost did it in round 1. He landed clean, and he rocked the shit out of Matsumoto. But I had someone actually tell me, he's like, no, if you actually go back to rewatch the fight. So, of course, the fan I am, I go rewatch, trying to see their point of view. They had Matsumoto. I still didn't see how Bekzak lost. I gave him rounds 1 and 2. You can say, round 2 could have been the one that Matsumoto got. Round 3 could have been Bekzak, but yeah, I don't know how he got robbed on that fight. So, but if you look at both of their fights, all their losses primarily are by decision or split. So, if it was going to be close, I thought maybe they would have gave it to the more local guy. But hey, Matsumoto finally said, you know what, I'm done losing by split. I may have won by split, but I think it was still, for the most part, it was still a good fight.
I mean, if it was a split decision for G Matsumoto, it would have been a little bit more excusable.
Yeah,
But the unanimous decision was
that
a
was
little
wild.
bit outrageous there. But I even with me, I had a G Matsumoto 3-leg ticket of Tair Abudayev, G Matsumoto, and Daniil Donchenko, and it was like plus 353. And I didn't think he won that fight at all. But next fight, though, was Donchenko versus Theodore Bregdrin. And Donchenko bought the Thunder, man. I believe this was the first like legitimate finish of the night. Like Dair got a finish, but it was kind of like I don't want to say a pussy finish, but this was like blood, violence, and guts. I would like to see Donchenko take a little bit less damage in some of these fights, but sometimes you got to give the crowd what they want, and he definitely gave the crowd what they want. I believe he got a 50K bonus. Hit this fight in every which way so possible. Outside of what was it, round 2 knockout? I mean, round 2 knockout was probably crazy odds.
Oh yeah. So one thing I remember you both said it during his interview. He was like, "I'm coming to get the finish." I'm like, "That's all I need to hear, brother. I'll play parlay inside the distance." That was the easiest parlay, which I'll go over the second leg later, because that was the more freest play I've ever had in my damn life. And hey, that's why if you're subscribed to Billy, you would have got that VIP play, and you would have made money what me and Billy did. That was easy bread, baby. But
or the live stream, bro. We're talking about it on the live stream too. There was a couple of live stream plays this week that really boosted up my ROI at the end of the at the end of the stream here, I would say.
Yeah, man. I hope they give entertaining matchups for Donchenko. And I give Bergeron credit. He did come in. He did what he had to do for a short notice. We'll probably see him again, maybe towards the end of the year. He didn't really take too much damage. He got TKO'd. He got wobbled, but it wasn't like one of those you got put on contest. I think he'll be back end of the year, and we'll see what type of matchup the UFC give him.
Yeah, and the next one here, you try to warn me. I didn't listen. Javier Reyes takes the L to Conor Offley. Conor Offley purely stunting on him. It wasn't before the submission even happened. The part that I knew that Javier Reyes was cooked. Was the walkout. I don't know if you saw the walkout. Anybody that does a dance routine before they fight, a 15-minute fight, you're only zapping your cardio even more than what you were already zapping it for a person that's probably has bad cardio and flying across the world. But that's a story for another day. And then on top of that, I knew he was cooked when he was getting diddy bopped on the feet by Conor Offley. Conor Offley was fucking him up on the feet a little bit before he got to the submission. How did it feel cashing Conor Offley here against the general consensus?
Man, I was so glad I switched my pick. Tuesday, I was actually in the comments saying, yeah, Javier, knockout. And I kind of hear an echo. Is it from your side, maybe? Okay, we're good. So, yeah, I remember I didn't see the dance. So, if I would have saw that, I probably would have threw more money on it. So, next time, call that shit out, because I would have threw probably more money than I should have. But, yeah, Conor Offley looked good. I kept saying throughout the damn stream before I put the bet in, Javier is not a good nail, and he leaves his chin up. And what happened? You let a damn T-Rex fucking overhand you to rock you on your feet. And then when he finally got finished, thank God I switched that pick. Because, man, that boy Offley put some good old stake money in my pocket. Exactly what I had after that damn fight. So, good for Conor Offley. 3-fight win streak. People were questioning how his last fight did with Yijia. That's just behind now. He put the fucking nail into round 1. So, good for Conor Offley. And now I'm seeing what kind of fights they give him for the future.
For sure. It was definitely a good performance for Conor Offley. Kind of showed that he is UFC level. Next fight, though, was Nursultan Ruzabayev versus Andre Pilaev. This is kind of like my highlight of the night here. Hit a little 10-1 submission prop on Nursultan Ruzabayev. And then I also had a parlay of his money line and the under in the Abus Magomedov and Mikhail Lozachek fight. So this is a really good, profitable fight for me. I mean, I honestly wish I was a little bit more in on Ruzabayev. If you remember, I was saying on the live stream that line dropped to minus 175, minus 175, minus 178, depending on where you're shopping at right before the fight closed. How'd you feel about our former Philly boy, now turned Floridian?
So, hey, man, he's at one of my favorite gyms, ATT, so I'm happy to see that. And I'm curious how many times he actually watched that Nick Klein fight, because he made that shit like easy peasy lemon squeezy, and he got my boy Billy paid. Billy said it on Tuesday. He was hyping it up before the fight, And look, I had Nerlston in a parlay with another fighter on the main card. Man, that parlay was freaking free as fuck. So good for Nerlston. And if we keep seeing this well-rounded game out of Nerlston, his stock is easily going to skyrocket at 185. So I'm actually curious, how many more fights until you get him maybe a number fight? Maybe one more, depending on the opponent. I think he can definitely make it in the top 15 start of 2027.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked by the original matchmaking in itself because I thought that was a step down in competition. Mm-hmm. Next fight, though, was was the quickest fight of the night. Yakayev versus Julius the Juice Walker. And I was jokingly saying to some DFS buddies, you're a bad fighter when you were a college basketball player and you were so bad at college basketball that you thought that you should become a fighter. Yakayev hit him with that 1-2 heebie-jeebies and cashed a nice little knockout prop for us at plus 200. Plus 200 usually feels like there's trappy spots, but I guess they must have had a bunch of sub tickets because they told Yakayev, do this however you want to do it, but do it by knockout, my brother. And he got it done. How do you feel about Yakayev, and what's your thoughts about him long term? Because we had to talk a little bit about this on stream, and I was kind of on the side of I don't really think he's like as good as the performances of the first round finishes are.
Yeah, knowing the UFC, they're gonna build this kid up probably for another 2 fights, if I had to guess, until he gets a guy like maybe like Omir C, a Kutalaba, shit, if they want to, maybe even Alonzo Menafield, depending on how quick they want to really build this kid. But if this is why you need to be in the Discord or watch the clips, I gave out the easiest damn 2-leg of inside the distance on Friday of Danchenko and Yakayev inside the distance minus 117. That was the freest and quickest way I made money all year. Danchenko handling business, and this man getting a knockout under 10 seconds. So how the hell you can ask anything better, man? So, and going forward, yeah, I'm actually curious where he'll go. I like him as a prospect. He's well-rounded. So I think there's going to be some fights where he's going to try to strike where I think he should wrestle, and there's times when he's going to wrestle where I think he should strike. So depending on where the UFC goes, I think they have a good prospect. I say don't rush him personally. And Juice Box, man, I don't know where you go from him. I'm trying to be nice about it, but you might need to get, a refill in your juice boxes, and hopefully you get some decent matchups in the regional scene, bro. But hey, man, you're a talented guy. You're athletic. Maybe you can, I think, go to a new camp. I think maybe try to not be the potential one of the better guys at your gym. Start from the bottom, work your way up. And I think if he does that, I think we could potentially see him in PFL or back in the UFC. I don't know if he got cut, so don't take my words on it. I'm just saying my overall opinion on it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. We'll see if Eric Nolan still has his UFC roster spot because he got dominated by Farman Hassanov. What are your thoughts on this one? I mean, Hassanov gave me the keys to the slate. I know we haven't talked about DFS throughout this recap so much, but, bro, that shit is wild how easy it is to cash on FanDuel. I literally had Yakayev, Danchenko, Hassanov, and didn't have anybody else that scored over 5 points, and that lineup made more money than the other lineup that had Rafael Fiziev in it. But that one had Ikram Alaskarov in it, so it kind of made sense. How was your thoughts on this one? And did you end up getting to the DFS play of the week? I mean, Hassanov ruined the slate.
So I couldn't find a way to get him in without moving my lineup, and I knew there was going to be one of these fights. I said it was either going to be Rozabolev or I think it was going to be Hassanov, because I still don't understand why Nolan, no disrespect, he was the damn dog of the week. I don't know what they saw. Maybe because he survived longer versus old boy Chimaev's teammate, but one thing that Chimaev's teammate don't got that Hansov does, he got that killer instinct. The whole fight, he was trying to find his way, takedown, repeat, ground and pound. Even tried to look for a couple finishes here and there. So, yeah, man, Billy planted his flag early on this fight, and that went bell to ass, easy bread. And whoever had him in DFS, God bless you, because your lineup went skyrocketed all the way to hell up. So, man, great call from Billy, bro. He had a couple great calls on this card, man. So that's why you got to tune in. We do this for y'all. Tune in, we give you the info. Tuesday, we do the clips. Friday, best bet. And that's why you tune in Saturday for the final conclusions, because, man, we have plenty of ways to make money for each show.
Yeah, I felt like everybody chipped in this week. I mean, shouts to Just My 2 Cents. We can't talk about Foreman Hassanov fight without talking about the Tapology underdog fade of the week this week, which was Eric Nolan. And then Mikhail Oleksiejczuk became the second leg of the Tapology underdog fade parlay of the week this week. And that was a plus 222 parlay. If you're on the live stream with us, I mean, Just My 2 Cents ran into like what I call gamblers' bad luck of just like random ass losses that you usually don't get in the UFC. He definitely encountered a couple of them. So I was like, yeah, I'm blindly tailing this parlay, and ended up flipping my pick. And it ended up working out. The line flipped, and I flipped my pick too. Boost Magomedov taking on Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. How'd you feel about this one? I was a little bit disappointed by the performance of Mikhail Oleksiejczuk, me personally.
But hey, I know I was on the same side with TC in this fight, and I'm mad I didn't get it pre-flop for this parlay. But once the fight started, that's when I really live betted Abuz in that parlay I hit later on, to where it was the main card parlay. And I was like, you know what? I got a minus 130. I'll still take it. And later fight, we'll talk about another fight. But I thought this was a levels fight, personally. And I know TC felt the same way. And Abuz did what he had to do. I thought maybe it would have been more wrestling. But hey, he clipped him with the elbow, got him down. And Oleksiejczuk tapped quick because 6 of 9. Now I think it's 7 out of 9 losses by sub. So you can get him to the ground. You can get a limb. Old boy's going to tap. So good luck for Abuz and Oleksiejczuk. Just because you have to fight your nerves, bro. You still haven't worked on your BJJ grappling defense. So you definitely work on that, because all fighters are going to look at that and look to take you down.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with you on that one. I thought that was a pretty good stock up a little bit for me for Boost Magomedov. He didn't fall off that cliff, because he usually does look good for the first 5 minutes, and then he falls off a cliff. He actually got the finish in that one. Somebody that didn't get a finish in their fight, Ikram Aliskerov versus Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira stayed tough. It was his first UFC loss that he didn't get finished inside the distance. Ended up cashing a bunch of parlays with Aliskerov in some type of leg or form, but did not cash the inside the distance play, which was one of my video plays this past week. How do you feel about this one? And I can't even be mad at him not getting the inside the distance. Like, he went for it, and then he was just up 2 rounds, and Bruno Ferreira wasn't doing shit.
Yeah, I can't be too mad. But anyone that does know me was probably shocked when I went against Bruno. But I made it clear on the DFS show, and I made it clear on Friday, I did not like this stylistic matchup for him by any level. He almost got finished early, but as Billy said, once Aliskerov was up 2-0, he did the more safe approach. He worked in his takedowns, got his grappling in. But hey, he cashed for the parlay, and he definitely paid off his tag for scoring over 110 or some point. So I can't really bitch too much about it. As long as money's coming in the way he wins, this is why you also play money lines to be safe, because you never know if a fighter's not going to finish, man. You at least want some type of money on it to where, man, I got the money line. I'm good, bro. I'm covered. That's what I taught. I got taught that because I used to say, no, fuck that. Finish. And I got tired of it. And Billy's like, bro, just play some fucking money lines, bro. Stop chasing bullshit. Hey, I play the money lines. I listen. I learn. And more money comes into your pocket, and that's all you can do. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, unfortunately, in the beginning of the week, I was liking the market for Charles Johnson, but by the end of the week, it was just like, throw a sue on Mabayev and some type of parlay, and I'll probably cash this week with the EVs and OVs. And that was the case here. Charles Johnson, bad juju, bad vibes with the haircut. It was a little bit more egregious than what it usually is, and he went out there and he got submitted. I was a little bit disappointed from the performance that I saw from Charles Johnson. We might be seeing the other side of the hill for him in these fights nowadays. What are your thoughts and opinions on this flyweight clash here?
So I can say this right before we went live on Saturday. I originally had Charles Johnson in my DFS line, and I'm glad I got off it, because we're going to talk about another dog I was on probably the next fight or two. But man, like, I thought Johnson was going to look all right early, but Azul, as I'm going to pull a Billy term, Azul was bitty bopping him on the feet too. Fucking hitting him on overhands clean to the chin. And look, I still like Charles Johnson, but I saw something to where he said, look, once I can find a good tattoo to put on back of my head, the hair will go. Brother, you need to cut it now. Like, I don't know what the hell you were doing, but And I don't even want to talk about the finish. Look, you left your leg there. It happens. But my man looked like an old girl trying to get her shit clamped. But hey, he died real quick. He didn't want to be in that position. I don't think nobody wants to be in that position unless you're a Chica. But Azul, only loss in the UFC is to Manel Kopp. I don't know where Azul goes from here. You know, he beats a guy inside the top 15. He was already ranked way above. Maybe give him the loser of Kavanaugh and Brandon Royval. Or maybe see if Joseph Morales wants to fight one more time this year, since now he's in the ranking. So good win for Umabayev. He did exactly what we thought, except I thought it was going to go to decision. I didn't think he was going to win by third round sub. So whoever had that, God bless you. You know you got paid tremendously well. Johnson, man, I don't know where he goes from here. He's still entertaining. At this rate, give him a striker versus striker match. That's where I personally want to see him for his next fight.
Yeah, I agree with you. Stop sending them into these random ass matchups against young prospects. Give him an OG type of style fight. That was kind of his last fight, though. Next fight, though, I'll let you take this one away. Nazim, the Black Wolf, Saikov versus Matias Camilo. He was almost a background for the video, and then I was like, probably shouldn't do that because mad people lost parlays on him. And I was one of them. I only had one parlay on him, but I did have inside the distance.
Yeah, this is where I'm gonna give a shout out to my man Danny in the building. I know he had Matias Makilo. I actually asked him for his opinion, especially when I'm actually unsure about a fight. He's one of the cappers I do respect for his opinion, and he gave me a straight up. He's young, he's well rounded, and he feels like he can stay in the fight. Man, he stayed in that fight. Was the finish a little early? I think it was personally, but look, you don't know until you actually get cracked in your chin how you personally gonna feel after you get put on your ass. And Sadikov got put on his ass quick. He got the skates pulled out, the rug pulled underneath, and I guess the ref didn't like how he defended himself, but I think Sadikov will be back. I think he came in over too cocky, and Billy even caught it on the stream. He said that I didn't notice. I didn't watch the camera. Matt Pervola was recording the fight. And when Billy said that, I'm like, bro, and me personally, I believe in, dude, some type of karma bullshit is about to happen. If your brother's like, yo, man, record this. I'm about to highlight reel this sucker. Boy, that shit backfired real quick. And I had Camilo in my DFS line. I switched him for Charles Johnson. And god damn, if I didn't do that, I probably wouldn't have cashed for DFS this week. So great
I'm
win.
glad you brought that up because I forgot about that part of this fight. So they have this new thing. I know that you know, but I'm just telling the people. Mm-hmm. They have a new thing on Paramount Plus for only the main card. You can see multi-cam. With the multi-cam, it is two different views of the octagon, and then at the bottom, it's both corners. And super weird. This is the first time I've seen this out of the last 2 weeks I've been watching it on the main cards. Matt Pervola was recording the fucking fight. Mm-hmm. Mills said to me, maybe it's not him recording the fight. Maybe Nazim asked to record the fight. And I was like, that's probably right. He probably did give him his phone to record it. Long story short, bro put away the phone like 30 to 40 seconds before the knockout happened. So that was super weird. There was a UFC brass next to them. That was the parlay shitter of the night, and really the only parlay shitter of the night. I mean, Javier Reyes kind of got juiced to minus 200, but people weren't just throwing him in like all their parlays. Nazim Saikov was definitely the parlay shitter, but the public thought this would be the one here. Sharp Bullet against Michelle Pereira. It was scary scenes for Sharp Bullet in the early goings. He got Diddy Bop dropped. Definitely some of the peripheral vision of having only one eye and fighting inside the cage played out in the first like 30 seconds of the fight. But then once Sharp Bullet started warming up, kind of just separated himself in that fight. I had 60 plus strikes in this one that cashed like halfway through round 2. Also had Sharp Bullet to win in over 1.5 that almost didn't cash within the first fucking 10 seconds. But my question for you was, how'd you make of the performance for Sharp Bullet, and who would you like to see Sharp Bullet fight next?
Man, yeah, when he got cracked, I'm like, bro, don't tell me this is going to be another parlay shitter, because Pereira landed clean on that chin, and Shar did not like that shit one level of a degree. I think Juan Balana went straight a little bit after he got cracked, but Yeah, he showed good composure going into round 2, round 3. I don't know what the fuck Pereira's coach was telling him after round 1, saying, "Hey man, you need to slow down, you need to get composure." Brother, if you would have grappled and wrestled, you probably would have won. And I was saying that even on Tuesday, saying I picked Char to win, but there is a path Pereira can do. I didn't expect it being cracking on the feet, but hey man, if he would have wrestled, who knows how this fight would have truly went. And man, so since Charlotte can't fight in the US, does that mean he can still go to like England and other countries, or is just like he's got to fight in his region? Because if it's
I think he's just gonna fight in his region for a
okay,
while.
so if he can fight in his
UFC
region,
signed a deal.
so I know neither fighter is ranked yet. Shit, if you want to do like a fight night main event out there, do Shara versus CLD.
That's a little bit too much of a step up in competition.
I mean, what else is like? You know, who else is out there really? Like, I think they're probably around the same. If you want to go by the so-called rankings, which I think the rankings are shit, they're probably not too far from each other. Unless you want to have them in another co-main or him versus the Turtle. Shit, there's some good. I think there's some alright fights. But me personally, as a fan, I want to see a striker versus striker. You know, I don't want to see him go against wrestlers because arguably I don't see him really working on takedown defense too much.
Honestly, I got a hot take. I think you give Char a bullet, Israel Adesanya.
I saw that.
His sayonara fight, striker versus striker fight. If it goes really right, then you got Char a bullet on a hype train. And then if it goes wrong, all right, fuck it. Israel Adesanya want to fight. It's like one of those type of things. It's like a win-win for the UFC. That would probably be the name I would call out if I'm Char Bullet. If I'm trying to really move up the rankings, Israel Adesanya might only got 1 to 2 fights left where the MMA community will respect him. I mean, bro was a pick him against Joe Pyfer. It tells you kind of everything you need to know. Main event though, Rafael Fiziev versus Manuel Torres. This was like a don't bring a knife to a gunfight type of fight. Because as soon as Manuel Torres got cocky after round 1, it was like he's never been out of round 1 in the UFC. Bro starts round 2 trying to hype up the crowd and stuff like that. And immediate karma. Shouts to you guys on the live stream. You guys cashed a bunch of Rafael Fiziev stuff. I just had like, I call it my smorgasbord type of plays where it's just like, I'm just going to bet a bunch of plus money on this fight and just help him up money at the end of the fight. And end up being up money at the end of the fight. But if I can go back in time, Rafael Fiziev by knockout in round 2 was kind of like free.
Yeah, like I'm mad and plus like the knockout problem. I had the knockout problem. I was gonna be like, man, I was thinking like you said you had that 2, 3, 4, and I was like, man, I don't get that. I have to put little like sprinkles on each round, but man, if that fight probably had 30 more seconds in round 1, Torres cracked him in the end of round 1. I'm like, oh, thank God it ended the round because if that fight was any longer, Fiziev might have been on his back foot and he might have been hauling some skates. But I actually rewatched the stream for that end of that clip. It was like, he's not even tired. He's hyping the crowd up. And then all I know is as soon as Mills said, nobody said he was tired. Oh, shit. That fucking nasty spinning back kick. And me and TC cashed with Fiziev. I cashed him in that main card parlay I came up with. That knockout. And that was a great way to end the card. That was a very exciting fight. A good amount of finishes. And a lot of tickets were cashed for DFS and betting slate for everyone that did.
Yeah, that was a great little sayonara for the night. Quickly to recap the PFL for me. PFL, Professional Favorites League. When we say Professional Favorites League, Bad Believe is the only favorite to like lose. That was like chalky. Like every other favorite one. I mean, I had a bunch of these parlays mixed in with all these different other organizations, but I did lose on my 2 straight plays of Ariana Lipsky on the money line and as Almabat in the main event. Could say that name fucking 10 times. Lost on those 2 straight plays. So overall, I believe I went 4-2 on the PFL because I ended up adding the under 1.5 in the first fight of the night as well. Between the 2 young kids, that was a banger that looked like free money. And then I would say the other summary was I don't got Nick Bagley fighting in the Cage Warriors promotion anymore, bro. You gotta throw him in the UFC, bro. He's running through these Cage Warriors fighters so crazy because he can grapple that it's making I don't know, it's just making Euro grappling look trash. How about you? What are your opinions on the regional scene over the weekend?
Man, the only thing I was mad about, I would at least went 1-on-1 my parlay. And because me and Billy were even talking about the one fight that we had questions on was the Babley and Wilkerson fight. Round one, I thought Babley almost had him out of there. He hit him so damn hard, Wilkerson came off his feet and fucking dropped him. And then as soon as round two, when Wilkerson started finding range, I was like, fuck, dude, he's about to get knocked the fuck out. And I thought I did do the smart thing of where me and Billy were looking. I was like, look, I'm going to have one parlay with Babley, one parlay with Wilkerson. I did it that way. Unfortunately, my dumb ass didn't. I had a Babley money line, and I had a Babley by knockout in a parlay. I was like, fuck. I knew this was the one fight that was going to be 50-50, but outside of that, I didn't catch on PFL. I did a little sprinkle dinkle, so the money from UFC. So it was still a good card. My boy McKee handled business because if those parlays would have hit, god damn, I would have threw everything on McKee. That's my dude. Cage Warriors, yeah, if you don't get that dude Bagley into at least Dana White or shit, let the PFL bring him in or some type of shit. I'll be shocked if I don't see him in PFL or Dana White Contender Series some point this summer, hopefully, because if he is, I know I'm picking him to win because he's going to out-grapple fuck the shit out of somebody. So, yeah, regional scene real good. I know we have another regional scene promotion fight this week. I think you said it was Cage Warriors. So if we get – I'll tell you right now, if I get lines on it, I will do some type of clip, especially if I get them on my book. I know I can watch it on UFC Fight Pass, which I'll have to give to Billy because I know he wants to probably watch that shit too. But, yeah, if I get it, expect some type of breakdown clip. If it's not a clip, come into the Discord. I usually go over each pick I really like the most. I give out the parlays. If they give me props, you know I chase the props. So this is why you got to be a silver and gold member at Pub Sports MMA. Plenty of ways to make money.
Yeah, Hardwick brother got to spin the block and try to make some money on him. That's the Cage Warriors main event this week. But if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you get notified for all of our live videos. This would be a type of week that you probably want the bell notification on. But if you need all the picks or you want all the picks or more analysis and want to get on to some of these bets that we just recapped, make sure you guys join the Pub Sports Radio Discord for silver and gold members. You can get access to all the picks, access to live streams, and access to cheat sheets from different cappers that are affiliated with Pub Sports Radio, like myself. I have the tennis cheat sheets. Troy is in there all the time dropping MLB stuff. We also got TC in there dropping a bunch of stuff. You got Slaughter dropping soccer plays. Everyone from the company dropping plays in there. And it's always nice because it's like if you go under there, under the soccer tab or something like that, and you see a game that's about to come up, I bet you somebody's got a play that they posted in there. Godfather, Old E, somebody. It's got some money on the games. So shouts to Mills for letting us do the recap. Until next time here, we out.